Do you get the step-up basis after the TOD, which stands for transfer on death, slash Ladybird deed? So a transfer on death deed is similar to Florida's enhanced life estate, or otherwise known as the Ladybird deed, where you can actually leave your real estate, real property, to a specific person or a trust whenever you pass away. It's a way to leave the property to essentially what's a beneficiary. They call it a remainderment on the deed. Again, it can be a person or it could be your trust. But by doing it this way, the property actually avoids probate. So very, very similar to TOD or POD, so transfer on death or payable on death designations that can be done for other assets, or sometimes transfer on death deeds can be done in other states where you can actually transfer the property upon death to a certain individual or individuals who you name. And this way it avoids probate. So in this instance, the question is, does it get a step up in basis? So the basis is what is used to calculate taxes, capital gains taxes, if there are going to be taxes on the sale of property. So in a simple example, Bob buys a piece of real estate. This isn't going to be Bob's primary residence, just to keep it simple, because there's different rules for that. But in Florida, Bob buys a piece of real estate and he buys it at $100,000. $100,000 is his basis. What he paid for the property is what's going to be used to determine taxes. So then say Bob turns around and sells it 15 years later and it's now $300,000. Well, Bob had a gain of $200,000 if he sells the property at $300 and he bought it at $100. So we use that gain to determine what Bob owes for capital gains taxes. What happens when you leave property to a person through a TOD or a Ladybird deed designation if you're in Florida, rather than that person needing to use your basis, what you paid for the property when you originally bought it, which could have been years and years and years ago, in order to determine taxes, they get what's called a step up in basis. They get to step up to whatever the value of the property was on the date of the owner's passing. So same example, but this time, let's say Bob buys the property at $100,000. When he passes away, it's worth $300,000. But when he passed away, he had a Ladybird deed in place and the property went to his son. So when his son inherits the property, if he wants to turn around and sell it, he doesn't have to use Bob's original basis of the $100,000 to calculate his taxes. He gets to use the date of death value of Bob, which was $300,000. So assuming he sells the property within, say, I don't know, about a year of Bob's passing, he most likely will not have capital gains tax to worry about, because he's going to be selling the property at essentially the same value it was when he inherited it, or that date of death value. So there's not going to be a gain there to realize for tax purposes, which is why these deeds are very nice. Among other reasons, you actually do get to take advantage of that step up in basis and can avoid property taxes if you are going to plan on selling the property once it's inherited through a Ladybird deed. So if you have any other questions about Ladybird deeds, estate planning, asset protection, elder law, and you are in Florida, our office is in Clearwater. I would love to help you with those questions. So please contact at Cause Law Office. The link is in my bio.